Hello, hello everybody. Hello everybody. Hello. Can you hear me? I hope you can hear me. Please, if you can hear me, just let me know in the chat that you can hear me. Please, if you can hear me, just help me know that you can hear me. Hello to everybody. Good afternoon. Yeah, I'm sure it's afternoon in Nigeria. Hope we are all doing well today. So I can see a number of people saying they can hear me. Yeah, so I can see a number of people saying that they can hear me. It means we can start, right? And today we're going to be looking at a very interesting topic, you know, very interesting topic, very interesting topic. We're going to be seeing how to connect with customers, using Google Ads, right? We're going to be seeing how we can connect with customers using Google Ads. Well, there are many people that are familiar with, social media ads, Facebook ads, Instagram ads, But well, we don't have so many people familiar with the Google ads, right? Actually, we don't have many people familiar with the Google ads. And yeah, I really don't know why. Whereas Google is actually a very interesting platform to run adverts on. I mean, Google owns literally 86% of the whole world. And I think that any platform that owns 86% of the whole world is a platform that we should give attention to, right? It's a platform worth our attention if it owns that much, population in the world. Yeah, so without wasting a lot of time, I'm just going to walk you through the things that we're going to be doing today. So on our agenda for today, we'll be looking at introduction to online advertising, right? What is online advertising? Then we'll see how to set up, a Google ad, and then we'll see how to set up a smart campaign, because when it comes to Google ads, usually there are two types. There is the smart campaign and there's the expert mode campaign, but then we're going to be looking at the smart campaign. Right? Yeah, so let's go ahead. These are the three main things we're going to be looking at today. And of course, if you have any questions, just put it in the chat. If you don't have any, put it you could always let us know if there is anything you don't understand so that we could always go back to it. Yeah, so interestingly, we're going to go ahead, right? Let's look at introduction to online advertising. Introduction to online advertising. So just to explain briefly, online advertising simply means that you're giving, well, it could be Google, it could be Facebook, it could be Instagram. You're giving, an online platform a certain amount of money. The aim being that they can reach out to a large group of people. Because you're going to agree with me that if you have a social media page, for example, most times when you make a post, only those who follow you most times can see your post. You see, but what if you want your post to touch 50,000 people? What if you want your post to touch 100,000 people? Then you will have to run adverts. And of course, adverts are not free, right? You may have to chip in something to be able to, run your advert, effectively, right? Yeah, so let's look at introduction to online advertising, right? Uh, so let's just look at some little statistics maybe that could help us, just to clarify what we are doing. So today we have 525 million internet users across Africa. That's a very interesting statistics, which I think by now it must have doubled, because I think this is a statistic that dates, since 2019. I think so. So by now it should have doubled, right? We have 74% of web traffic in Africa generated by smartphones, and we have 208 million online shoppers in Africa, right? That's a very huge statistics. We have 208 million people who go online, to buy products or services. And that means that, people don't just go online to have fun, just to have fun as it used to be. Now people actually go online to buy a product, or to purchase a particular service. And I think that statistic is very important. And 208 million shoppers, I think it's a very huge statistic, right? Statistic which we should give, attention to, right? So let's go ahead. Now, I would like to know, right? Those who are here, I would like to know whether you run Google Ads or not. So if you're here and you run Google Ads, just say in the chat yes. If you don't run Google Ads, just say in the chat no, right? So if you yes, and if you don't run Google Ads, just say in the chat no. Now, the reason I want to know this is so that I can know, the kind of people that are around, and I can know where to lay emphasis on. So if you are here and that you've run a Google ad before, right? Just put in the chat yes. That's if you've run. And if you've never run a Google ad, just say no, right? So that we can go ahead. Okay, thank you so much. I can see a number of responses. Apparently, I'm not seeing anybody who has run an ad yet, because I'm seeing no, 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 no everywhere. Interesting. Well, this is the perfect audience, actually. Well, since nobody has run an ad. Okay, Isaac Otikiro says, I tried but failed. But failed in payment. Interesting. Wow. Okay, so anyways, this is the perfect audience, however, because we're going to be taking everything from scratch. And you see, it's actually not difficult, right? It's actually very easy. Most times people don't run Google Ads. It's not because it's complex. People just feel like it's complex, whereas it's actually very easy. Like after this class, you're going to be wondering why you were not running the ad in the first place, because it's very easy. People always feel like it takes some kind of expertise. Of course, it requires a minimum expertise, which we've been sharing with you already all through this training. And I just want to use this opportunity to say thank you to all those who have been following the training, from the beginning to the end. This, for example, is our well, it's not the last class. The last class that we'll be having will be on Friday. So this class will be on Friday. Please thank everybody that have been joining, and I hope you've been able to learn one or two things. Let's go ahead. Now, the customer journey usually is very, very complex, right? The customer journey usually is extremely complex, very, very complex. Complex because we know Google, right? Google has become like our friend, or our neighbor or so. Usually when we have a challenge, usually the first place we go to is Google. Well, I do that. I don't know about you, but I do that a lot of times. Usually when I have any challenge, the very first place I go to is Google. Most times because depending on the challenge that I have, I would then go on Google, and look for possible solutions to that particular problem that I have. And let me take an example. Let's take a scenario where maybe your phone got broken, like the example on our screen. Maybe your phone got broken. Usually the first thing you want to do is to go on Google and read, how can I do this? Can I fix my phone? Most times we don't want to give money to the technician, right? So we try to find out if Google could help us solve the problem. And then usually it's if Google cannot solve the problem, that we're going to try to see, how we can take it to a technician. So usually we'll go on YouTube and look for tutorials. Like recently my Facebook account was hacked. Actually, recently my Facebook account was hacked, and it was terrible. Like, it took me, I can't tell you how long it took me, to get information on that. It took me a lot of time, right? So most times, what takes people to Google is a how-to information. Yeah, so you will look for solutions. When you can't find solutions now, when you can solve the problem yourself, you're now going to see if you can, contact a technician that could solve your problem, go to a website, book for an appointment, and all of that. Now, the reason you have to understand this, is because the reason you have to understand this is because, you have to understand the customer journey. What takes people to Google? Because you cannot want to run Google ads if you don't understand what takes people to Google. It's very important that you understand. You have to understand that what takes people to Google most times are challenges, are difficulties. So most times, if someone doesn't have a difficulty, most time the person will not go to Google. And this is a very important thing to take note, because it will help you understand that when you go on Google, the initial idea is not always to sell your product at first. The initial idea is to create, solutions to problems that are existing. Because remember that it's problems that take people to Google. So if you can find out the challenges that people face, and you start writing more on those challenges, people are going to begin to read what you're writing, and they will end up buying from you. So it's very important to understand that on Google, you don't just rush because you want to sell, right? You identify challenges, solve them, and then lure people gradually into buying your products or your services. Great. So let's look at, why should you advertise on Google? Why should you advertise on Google? Why should you not just remain on Facebook, on Instagram? Why should you try Google? Well, there are a number of reasons. Firstly, because you can track and measure the performance of your adverts, right? You can track and measure the performance of your adverts on Google, meaning that you can actually see if your advert is yielding the required result, or not, right? You can also control your budget on Google, right? You can control exactly how much you spend. You can decide to spend $20 today, $30, after maybe $30 every month, you know. So you can decide to do $30 every month, depending on what you want, right? You can control your budget on Google. Another very nice advantage on Google is that you can edit, you can pause or cancel your ad at any time, right? Meaning that if you run an ad and it's not yielding the results that you want, you can pause it. If it's not yielding the result that you want, you can cancel it, right? And another advantage again is that you can adapt, new strategy, meaning that you can use the information that you got from your insights. Don't worry, we're going to be looking at insights very soon, right? You look at the information that you will have on you from your insight, and be able to adapt it such that you'll be able to, run adverts, such that you'll be able to adjust your strategy to the market. Now, don't worry if you didn't pick that. We're going to be going to that soon, right? So those are some of the advantages of of running Google Adverts. Now, how do Google Ads work? Now, since many of you have not run Google Ads before, how do Google Ads work? It's very simple. When you go on Google and type something, right? Let's say you go on Google and type, I don't know, camping equipments or computers for sales. For example, let's say you go on Google and type computer for sales. Now, usually the very first thing you're going to see are pictures, right? Or what we call shopping ads. Now, shopping ads usually are pictures, like you're going to see on your screen. There are pictures, just pictures and a brief description, right? Picture and brief description. That's what we call shopping ads. Now, those are the most expensive type of Google adverts, right? They are the most expensive type of Google adverts. They are called shopping ads. Then you're going to see another type of ad called text ads, right? Text ads usually come immediately under shopping ads, right? And then lastly, you're going to see the organic search listing. The organic search listing are simply people that are trying to, people that are trying to, how could I say, that are doing search engine optimization manually, meaning that they are not paying, right? They are not running adverts. So most times, the first kind of ad you're going to see are what we call shopping ads. Then you're going to see text ads. Then you're going to see the organic search listing. Now, in the next slide, it explains even better, right? So you're going to see that the first kind of ad you will see are shopping ads. Then you see text ads, and then under you now see the organic search listing, right? Great. Now, remember that we've spoken about. Oh, what's happening here? Yeah. So remember we've spoken about shopping ads. We've spoken about text ads. Now, all these are types of Google ads, right? Then we have what we call display ads. Now, display ads, I don't know if it has happened to you that you go on YouTube, right? You go on YouTube and you're watching a video, and while you're watching the video, another video comes and interrupts the video that you were watching. I don't know if it has happened to you. Like you're on YouTube and you're focusing, really getting some interesting video, and something like an advert comes and interrupts the video that you were watching. That's what we call a shopping ad. Oh, no, a display ad, right? Now, sometimes that video can come at the beginning, it can come in the middle, or it can come at the end. That's what we call a shopping ad. Or maybe you go on a website to look for some information, and then you see some ads trying to distract you, or maybe you open your desktop or your laptop and you see some ads trying to, bulk into your screen, right? Those are what we call shopping ads. Now, shopping ads, display ads rather. Oh, I keep making that mistake. I don't know why. That's what we call display ads. So display ad is simply Google taking advantage of what we call the Google Display Network, right? So they are taking advantage of websites that have high traffic. So they take advantage of websites with very high traffic to be able to, so that they can send your adverts there, hoping that your advert is going to be clicked on. So display ad simply is Google taking advantage of high traffic website like YouTube, right? They send your adverts there so that those that are visiting those websites could click on your video or on your advert. So that's what display ad is. It's actually very simple. So display ad is actually a type of a Google ad. Now, so let's look at some Google ad features. Now, again, we're only in the first phase where I'm just trying to, make us familiar with the Google ad. Now, in the other phases, I'm going to be showing you exactly how to create a Google ad account and how to optimize it. So don't worry, we're getting there, right? So let's look at some key features of the Google ad. The first feature of the Google ad is that you only pay for results, right? You only pay for results. When you run Google ads, you only pay for results. Now, paying for result doesn't mean that you pay when the customer gives you money. No, pay for result means that you pay when an action is taken on your advert. That's why you're going to hear things like pay per click, right? Or pay per search. Because it's only when your advert is clicked on that you're going to pay for. So a customer will click on your advert, and of course, it's now your responsibility to convert that prospect into an actual customer, right? That's one of the key features of the Google ad, is that you only pay for results. Now, secondly, there is no startup fee, meaning that Google is not going to give you any, you're not going to pay any amount before running the advert. So most times what you do is that your money could be in your prepaid account, and then when there is a click on your ad, before you start losing money, right? So if you run an advert and there is no action on that advert, you're not going to lose any money, right? So another advantage is that there is no cancellation fee. If you decide to cancel your ad, there will be no fee, right? Google is not going to fine you for that. Also, there is no contract. There is no contract that binds you and Google. Very important to note that. Great. So we've come to the first pause for our questions. Please, if you have questions, do well to put them in the chat, right? So that we can respond. So I'm just in the chat to see if I'll find any questions. Hello everybody. Yeah, so feel free to ask any questions. If you have any questions, please feel free to put them in the chat. And of course, if you don't have any, we're going to go ahead. So let's go ahead anyways. Of course, I'll be waiting for your questions. If you have them, put them in the chat. So let's look at how you prepare to set up a Google ad, right? How do you prepare to set up a Google ad? Now, before you set up a Google ad, there is a very important question that you have to ask yourself. What are your business goals? Right? What are your business goals? So before you set up a Google ad, you have to ask yourself, what are your business goals? I'm very sorry. I feel like network had some little issues. So I feel like you missed me, right? Somewhere. Anyways, I was saying that before you run an ad, you have to first of all ask yourself, what are your business goals? What do you want to achieve from the ad? You have to define it. Do you want to have more customers? You have to define it. So you have to be able to define your business goals. Do you want more sales? Do you want more leads? Do you want more website traffic? What do you want? You have to be able to define what you want. And also, you have to define the kind of ad that you want to run, right? Define the kind of ad that you want to run. Do you want to run a search ad? A search ad means that it's only when somebody searches for something related to your product or your services that your ad will pop up. That's the meaning of a search ad. Now, there are video ads. There are video ads. There is what we call the smart campaign, which we're going to be looking at. So don't worry. And then there's what we call display ads. So you have to define the kind of ad that you want to run and the objective of your ad. You have to define that. Now, of course, any goal that you set has to be specific. It has to be measurable. It has to be achievable. It has to be realistic. And it has to be time bound. Meaning that you don't just make a goal like, I want to make money online. No, that's not a goal. You don't just make a goal like, I want to I want many people to visit my website. No, that's not a goal. You have to be able to define it. So don't just say I want to make money. No, say I want to make 500,000. I want to make 1 million. I want to have 500 visits on my website. You have to be able to define that. I want to have 100 prospects. So you have to be specific about the kind of goal that you want to achieve. And of course, you want to put that goal within a time frame, because any goal that's not within a time frame is not a goal. So you won't just say, I want to have 500 customers. No, you have to tell yourself, I want to have 500 customers in 2 months. I want to have 500 customers in 3 months. That's how you set the goal. And of course, you will now have to be able to decide or to decipher whether the goal that you set for yourself is achievable or not. Because you don't want to set random goals, right? You want to set goals which you have the resources, right, to make it happen. So that's very, very important. Now, what are smart campaigns? Like I said earlier, there are normally two types. Will I call it types of Google Ads? Will I call it types? Yeah, let's call it types. There's what we call the smart campaign, and there's what we call the expert mode campaign. Now, the smart campaign most times is when you don't want to do a lot of work, right? Smart campaign means that you're telling Google, I don't want to go through stress. I don't want to go through all the work, all the keyword research, all all the stuff. I don't want to go through a lot of work. Google, I want you to do the work for me. That's the meaning of a smart campaign. So you run a smart campaign when you want Google to do the work for you. That's why smart campaigns most times are most advisable for people who don't master Google Ads yet. For example, many people here have never run a Google ad before. So a smart campaign could really be advisable for you, so that Google does the work for you, literally. Right? And of course, I'm going to be sharing with you how exactly you can run smart campaigns. Great. So we've come to the second pause for our questions. If you have any questions, please put them in the chat so that I could address them. If you have any questions, put them in the chat so that I could address them. So I'll just rush through the chat to see whether we have any questions. Whether we have any questions, I'll just go through the chat. Okay, so Joshua Simon is asking, if you are paying based on per click and someone click on your ad without him watching or go through the so-called ad, then do you pay for the ad? Now, again, right, there are different types of ads, right? There's what we call pay per click. There's what we call pay per search, right? There is even paid for views, right? So you have to decide what you want. But if you select pay per click, right? If you select paid per click, it means that anytime somebody clicks on your ad, you're going to pay for it. If you select paid per click, it means that anytime someone clicks on your ad, you're going to pay for it. You're going to pay for it, right? Whether the person views it or not, whether the person, actually finally gets to you or not, you will pay for it. So maybe it's a free advice for you that when next you go online and see something written on it sponsored, if you're not really interested, make sure you don't click on it. Because Immediately you click on it, of course, the person is going to pay. Great. Khadija Jibril is asking, what's the other campaign aside from smart campaign? Any other option, please? Yes, there is what we call, like I said, there is the smart campaign and there's what we call the expert mode campaign. Now, in the expert mode campaign, you will do a lot of work. Actually, you will have to do so much work because the expert mode campaign, the work is done more by you, while the smart campaign, the work is done more by Google, right? Yeah, and of course, once you create your Google Ad account, just like we're going to be seeing in the next slides, right? Because the next slide, I'm going to be showing you how exactly you can run these different ads, right? But then once you create your account, you're going to see the possibility to switch from the I think immediately you create your account, right? Your account appears immediately as smart campaigns, right? In the smart mode. Usually it's if you're not interested in the smart mode that you can switch from smart mode to expert mode. Great. Yeah, so Isaac Otikiro is asking, are there strict payment options for ads? Well, there are no strict payment options, but you can pay your ads. You can run your ads using Google, using PayPal, your PayPal account. You can roll your ads using your Visa card, and well, when it comes to payment methods, right? When it comes to payment methods, okay, for example, I am in Cameroon, and when I want to run adverts, there is a prepaid card that I use to run my advert. But then sometimes it differs from country to country. You know, in Cameroon, I may use something, and then in Nigeria or in Uganda, it may not be the case. So usually what I recommend is that you can find anybody around you, right, who is already running Facebook ads or Google ads, and ask the person the payment method that he or she is using, right? And then use similar payment method. That's going to go a long way, to that's going to go a long way to help, right? It's going to go a long way to help. Okay, so let's go ahead. Hassan Idris is asking, do you pay before starting a Google ad? And again, if you cancel the Google ad, would your money be refunded? Now, I think you have to understand. I guess probably you didn't maybe pick it well. Let me start with the first one. Do you pay before starting a Google ad? Okay, actually, when you want to run a Google ad, usually there are, well, when you want to run a Google ad, right? Usually, let's say you're running your Google ad with a prepaid card. I'm just taking an example, a prepaid card. Now, what you will do is you're going to put money into your prepaid card, right? It could be $20, it could be $30 in your prepaid card. Now, remember that it is only when they click on your ad that an amount is automatically deducted from your card. So now it will now depend on how you bidded, your, I don't know, your keywords. Now, don't worry, we'll look at all of that. Maybe you could go in for a pay per click, which is $1 per click, meaning that once they click on your ad, you lose $1. Now, it's not like your money goes somewhere and has to be refunded. No, your money doesn't go somewhere and has to be refunded. Your money remains with you. It's just that each time your ad is clicked on, an amount is automatically deducted. And of course, it's an amount which you are very much aware of because you do your bidding, right? You do it yourself. You know exactly how much leaves your account when they click on your ad. So it's not like if you cancel the ad, your money is going to be refunded. Your money is still with you because it's actually in your prepaid card. So when you cancel the ad, the money remains with you actually. So the money doesn't go somewhere, right? And of course, if you cancel the ad when the ad had already made some clicks already, of course, that money cannot be refunded. I mean, they will not refund your money if you didn't click, if people clicked on your ad. So I don't know if you understand. Hassan Idris, I hope I answered your question. Okay, so BC Michael is asking, how can you run a display ad? Now we are going to be looking at that in the next slide, right? You can run a display ad, you can run a text ad. You know, it all depends on you. There are all types of Google ads which we're going to be looking at. Yeah, so I hope I answered all the questions. Please, if you have any other questions, feel free to put them in the chat, right? Don't hesitate. Okay, let's go ahead. Now, let's look at how you can run Google adverts, right? How can you run Google adverts? Already, one thing I should maybe let you know is that you cannot run a Google ad unless you have either a website or a Google My Business profile, right? You cannot run a Google advert if you don't have either a website or a Google My Business profile. And I think we had a whole session on the Google My Business profile, which was free, right? So I don't want to go back into the Google My Business profile because we did that already. So for you to run a Google ad, you need to have either a website or a Google My Business profile, and that's very important. So they'll always ask you to select whether you want to use your business profile as a landing page or whether you want to use any other landing page, right? So that's usually the first step. So they're going to ask you in step one. Now, again, the whole journey begins at ads.google.com. You know, just so I am precise, you know, let me just put it in the chat. Ads.google.com. So I just dropped it in the chat. So that's where the whole journey starts from. For you to run your Google ads, you have to head on to ads.google.com. ads.google.com. That's very, very, very important. Now, when you head on to ads.google.com and create your ad account, they're going to ask you whether you want to run your advert using a Google My Business profile or you want to use another landing page. So depending on what you want, you're going to select. Now, these steps, what I would recommend you do is that I would recommend that you screenshot these steps, right? So that when you're going to be practicing them individually, you can just follow them one after the other. So I'll recommend that you screenshot these slides, right? Because it's going to be showing from step 1 to step 10 how you can run your ad. So I'll strongly recommend that you screenshot it so that as we go ahead, you screenshot it so that you can always follow, you know, in your individual time. Now, so the next step, so the first step is that they're going to ask you whether you want to run the ad using your Google My Business profile or using another landing page. So you're going to indicate. The second step is that they're going to ask for your business name, right? What's your business name? You're going to input your business name, right? Let me check something here. Okay, anyways, let's go ahead. So they're going to ask you for your business name. After that, they're going to ask you to add your website or your landing page link. Now, I know you're going to tell me, but we first of all ask, they already asked us for a website. Why are they asking us for it again? Now, here you want to indicate your landing page link. Now, it's important to note that your landing page link here is not necessarily your website page link. It's very important to note that, because your landing page is wherever you want people to appear when they click on your ad. So it doesn't have to be your home page. It can be your product page. It can be your service page. It can be your blog. It can be your testimonials. Whatever it is, right? Whatever it is, it can be it. It's very important that you note that the link of the website that you're dropping here is not just the link of your website as in your homepage. It's actually the link of where you want people to land when they click on your ad. It's very important to understand that. Now the next step is that once you put the link of your landing page, they are going to show you a preview, right? A preview of how your landing page looks like. So they're going to show you the view on phone, and they're going to show you the view on laptop. So if you want the view on mobile, you click on mobile, you'll see the view on mobile. Then the view on laptop, you click on desktop, and then you will see the view. So they'll show you the different. Uh, hello. I'm very sorry for the network instability. Right? I hope you can hear me. I'm sorry for the network instability. We're going to go ahead. Now, again, put your questions in the chat because I'm going to be answering questions. Uh, Not sure why there is so much network instability here. I'm really sorry for that. I hope we don't have that anymore. So let's go ahead, right? Let's look at the next step. So the next step, which is step 5, is to define your business goals. Now your goals are already there, right? The goals are already there. You actually just have to select them. It's not like it's something you have to create. They're already there. So you have to define whether you want to have more calls, whether you want to have more sales, whether you want to have more views, whether you want to have get more leads, whether you want people to book for an appointment. That you will decide, right? That you will decide what you want. So the next step is that they're going to ask you what customer action should your campaign deliver, meaning that what's the call to action, right? How do people get to you? How do people get to you? Do you want people to get to you by filling a form? Do you want people to get to you by getting an appointment? Do you want people to get to you through email? You will have to define that, right? You have to define what it is exactly that you want. How do you want people to get to you, right? You will have to define that. So let's go ahead. You will have to define that. Then the next step is to create your ad copy. Now, creating your ad copy is very, very important. And in my opinion, the ad copy is actually the most important step because, well, the ad copy is what people actually look most for. It's actually what people actually look most for, right? And before you create your ad copy, you have to do what we call keyword research. You have to do what we call keyword research. Now, keyword research, how do I explain keyword research? The aim of keyword research is so that you can understand the search intent of your audience, right? That's the aim of keyword research, so that you can understand the search intent of your audience. Now, let me way that you will understand, right? Let's say I want to sell shoes in Nigeria, right? Precisely which state? Maybe in Abuja, Nigeria. Let's say I want to sell shoes in Abuja, Nigeria. Now, remember, I am in Cameroon and I have never been to Nigeria, but I want to sell shoes in Nigeria. What can I do to sell shoes in Nigeria? Now, I'm very sorry, I keep having internet interruptions. So, I was saying that I was trying to explain keyword research, and I was saying that if I want to sell shoes in Nigeria, the very first question I want to ask myself is whether there are people in Nigeria who are interested in shoes. That's the very first question I'll ask myself. Because I don't want to take shoes to Nigeria and end up not selling them. So I'll first of all ask myself, are there people in Abuja, Nigeria interested in selling shoes? Now, if I find out that there are people interested in selling shoes in Nigeria, the next question I'll ask myself is whether I can quantify the number of people that are selling shoes in Nigeria or in Abuja, Nigeria, for example. So the reason I want to quantify it is so that I should not take 1,000 shoes and take it to Abuja, Nigeria, and end up selling only 100. So once I'm done finding out whether there are people in Abuja who are interested in food or in uh, 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 um, or in the next thing I want to do is to find out whether I can quantify the number of people, right? Now, that's the whole idea of keyword research. Keyword research is to find out how many people are interested in the things that I am doing or the things that I am selling. If I'm selling shoes, for example, keyword research will help me know the number of people that go on Google to buy shoes every single month. So the aim of keyword research is to understand the number of people that search for a particular keyword so that it can give us an idea whether or not it is a keyword on which we have to focus on. So that's the whole point of keyword research. Keyword research will help you know the search intent of people. And of course, let's say you found out that there are 1 million people, going on Google and trying to sell shoes or trying to buy shoes. I mean, that would be an interesting stuff. So the larger the search volume, the higher the larger the search volume, you know, the more interesting the field is. So keyword research is very, very important. Now, there are some tools that you can use to run your keyword research, right? Now, already, if you have a Google Ad account, you can use what we call the Google Keyword Planner to run your keyword research. Now, there are other tools that you can use, like the Google Trends. You can use the Google Trends. You can use the Google, what's that again? You can use keyword.io. I'm just typing it so that you can use SEMrush, search. Now there are many of them. I just dropped a few in the chat just in case you may want to run your keyword research. I've dropped a few of them in the chat. Okay, so let's go ahead. Now you have to do your keyword research before you make your ad copy. So on your ad copy, you put a title, of course, which you got from your keyword research. Then you put a brief description, right? That's what the ad copy looks like. Now, after that, the next thing to do is to set up your keyword themes. Now, if you're running a smart campaign, Google is going to do the keyword research for you, right? So they're going to propose keywords that are already corresponding to your business. That's if you're running a smart campaign, right? So that's why a smart campaign is advantageous in the sense that Google does the work for you. So they're going to propose you a whole ton of keywords which you can, adjust, add, reduce, depending on you, right? So after that, you have to define where you want your ad to run. Do you want your ad to run in Nigeria, in Ghana, in Togo, in Mali, in Zimbabwe, in Uganda, in France, in Germany? Depending on where you want your ad to run, you can put your ad there and it will run, right? And you see, this is one of the beauties of online marketing, is that you can be in Nigeria and you sell in Germany. You can be in Nigeria, you sell in France. You can be in Uganda and you sell in Ghana. There are no boundaries anymore. So once you select where you want your ad to show, the people of those areas are going to see your ad. So the next thing you do is to insert your budget. How much do you have available? So once you insert your budget, if your ad is clicked upon, a certain amount is going to be deducted gradually, right? So you insert your budget. Once you insert your budget, Google is going to show you a review of your campaign, right? They're going to show you all the stuff that you were doing from step 1 to step 10, right? An opportunity for you to edit, review. If there is any mistake that you made, you can adjust it and all of that. So all that depends on you. All that really, really depends on you. So if you want to edit something, you can edit it. So the aim of this point is to show you everything that you've been doing, so that you can edit or adjust or just do whatever you want to do with it. And of course, the last one, you add your payment method, right? Like I said, you could add your PayPal account, you could add your prepaid card, you could add your Visa card, depending on what you want, your MasterCard, you could add all those information there, and then the amount is going to be deducted automatically from your account. So once you do that, you are all set for the Google ad. Once you do that, you are all set for the Google ad, and you can now track your ad performance, right? So from here, your ad can start running. You can start running your ad, and then from here you can track the performance of your ad. Tracking the performance of your ad means that you can have tracking the performance of your ad. You have to use, you can use your Google ad account to track the performance of your ad. You can use that, but also you can use your analytics account. So you may have to you have to create an analytics account. It's called you can head on to analytics.google.com. So maybe Emmanuel can drop the link, analytics.google.com, right? Analytics.google.com. Analytics.google.com. So you can head on to analytics.google.com. Then you create your analytics account. So you head on to analytics.google.com. You create your analytics account. Then you connect your analytics account to your Google ad account. Right? Now, I hope it's not confusing. So firstly, you have to create your Google ad account to be able to run Google ads. Now, secondly, you have to create your analytics account, your Google Analytics account, by heading on to analytics.google.com. Then you have to connect your analytics account to your Google Ad account. So when you connect your analytics account to your Google Ad account, you'll be able to, to monitor the progress of your adverts, right? Yeah, that was it. I hope it was easy. We've come to the end of today's training session. Please, Emmanuel, you could do well to drop the attendance form, right? While I'll be answering questions. So, what are the next steps? Please follow us on our different social media platforms: Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn. Now, the reason why you have to follow us on our social media platforms is because, there are many things that we may not have a lot of time to discuss here, but which we discuss on our different social media accounts. So, by following us, we are going to be giving you tips on a daily basis that you can use to do well on your social media, right? So, please, Emmanuel, drop the attendance form so that they can fill the attendance form, right? And I'm gonna be answering questions, right? Yeah, like I said, the session on Friday is our last session, and you don't want to miss out on it because we're going to be looking at, implementing the Google Workspace. Impactor, for example, is an international organization, and we have employees literally all over Africa, right? And we're going to be showing you how we manage to succeed as a company. Like I've never seen my colleagues, physically, never, never. I've never seen my colleagues physically, never. Because I'm in Cameroon, the other works in Nigeria, there is one in Cameroon, but then I've really never seen him. Others in Kenya, in many different countries. So next week, we're going to be showing you how we manage to survive as a company. What are the things that the systems, the operations that we put in place, to succeed as a company. So you're going to use some of these operations for your own business so that you can succeed. Yeah, so the attendance form has been filled, has been dropped. Please make sure you fill the attendance form. I don't know why the form is not highlighting. Let me try to get it myself, right? I'm not sure why the form is not highlighting. Let me just try to get it myself, just so that we could go a little faster. Mm, attendance form. Okay, let me try to share it myself. I hope this time it will work. Well, apparently it's the same thing. Okay, for our social media channels, they're also going to be dropped. Uh, Now somebody is asking, Glomatic is asking, if you have a PayPal, if you don't have a PayPal or Visa card or payment method, can't one use the bank payment? Well, you can use the bank payment. Just that most times it's not advisable to use the bank payment. Well, because especially that maybe a huge amount of money could be in your bank account, and maybe any mistakes could lead to maybe you know an excessive withdrawal of money and all of that. That's why most times it's recommended that you have a prepaid card, upload a certain amount of money in it, which you can use, but then you can use your bank account. That's fine. Okay, so thank you so much for coming in this session. Thank you really, really very much. And see you next on Friday. See you on Friday. Bye bye. So I hope you were able to enjoy and learn something from today's